Hi, welcome to the session on how to ace the MBA interviews. An MBA interview is not something I know that most students look forward to, and I've always wondered why. To me it means that you've cleared the first hurdle, you've cleared the written test, you've gotten your mark, which is why you've been called for an interview. And I believe it's a great opportunity for you to craft your personal narrative and sell it to the panel. Of course, before doing that, few things that you must keep in mind. I believe the most important one is you should do a thorough, analysis of yourself. In the sense, really delve deep inside and know the kind of person that you are. Your strengths, your weaknesses, the kind of work that you like to do, the kind of work that you are very, very comfortable doing, your USP, what are your goals, short term, long term, what is it that you really want out of life. You obviously are not going to get the opportunity to talk about all of this in the interview, but it really helps. When you know what is it that you want and where exactly and how exactly are you going to achieve those goals in life. The second thing that I think you should do is, in your preparation for the MBA interview, is you must know your stuff. You must you must have complete command over your domain knowledge. You couldn't possibly have spent 4 years pursuing an engineering degree and not know the basics. I distinctly recall one of my co-panelists asking a candidate a question on the laws of thermodynamics, and he was clueless. So these are things which create, if you ask me frankly, a terrible impression on the panel. If you don't know what you studied in 4 years, if you're a commerce student or a humanities student, whatever, you should know the stuff that you've been studying for so long. Having said that, the first question that usually interviewers ask you is, tell me something about yourself. Now I think that is something where you can really shine and sparkle and dazzle. You can actually take the panelist's hand and take them wherever you want them to go. And this is not the same thing as walk me through your CV. That's slightly different. That would generally be about your roles, your responsibilities, and more professional. This, of course, has a personal aspect to it as well. Also talk about interesting aspects of your personality which you would want the interviewer to know. Particularly if you have some interesting hobbies or an interest that you're extremely passionate about. For instance, if you play a musical instrument, you're an avid trekker, or if you're a blogger, you're a cinema buff and you write a blog on cinema, I think that's great. It adds a completely different dimension to your personality. That's one thing where I believe that that's the first terrific impression that you can make. Then of course you have the most obvious question of all: why an MBA? And this is where your self-analysis will help a great deal. You must know as to why do you want to do an MBA? A short-term goal, a long-term goal? How is an MBA tied in with that? Like for instance, you've reached a wall as far as your career is concerned, and you know that to get past that you need an MBA. Or you've been in a particular industry for a very long time. You've been in the real estate industry for say 5 years, and you want to break. You want to change your functional area, and that's where an MBA helps. So talk about these things as candidly, as honestly as you possibly can. Okay, so after we've spoken about how you deal with the two questions, tell me something about yourself and why an MBA. Last couple of pointers that I'd like to really share with you is that the first thing is be yourself, be natural. I know that's easier said than done. You are stressed and you are overwhelmed by the entire interview business, but relax, be natural, be yourself. Don't try and be something that you are not. It'll come through, and that is not something that you'd really want. So don't posture, don't be pretentious, just be yourself. And the other thing is that even if you have to put on a little bit, I know I'm being contrary to what I just said earlier, be energetic. That shouldn't be so hard, be enthusiastic. You must understand that panelists go through so many interviews a day, and very often there are candidates who come looking, for want of a better word, absolutely deflated. You wouldn't want to come across as something like that. Be energetic, be enthusiastic, armed with your domain knowledge and your your awareness of yourself as an individual, and I see no reason why you shouldn't ace your MBA interview.